In this video, we're going to see Cenk Uygur on UK radio go after Donald Trump, Benjamin Netanyahu, as well as Israel. As usual, let's watch the video in full. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts towards the end.
Cenk, thank you very much indeed for joining the show. First of all, this declaration about genocide, it may not surprise people who've been studying the situation. Does it make a difference, do you think?
Well, look, we give Israel way too much latitude to begin with. This is not an interesting debate. It's obviously a genocide. And all of their talking points are the same talking points that, that every country or empire that has ever committed a genocide uses. So in the Armenian genocide, the Ottoman Empire said, oh, they were hiding behind their civilians. We were doing self-defense. We had to move them for their own good and our own good. So these are all the same things we've heard before: ethnic cleansing and genocide. The monstrous actions of the Israeli government would really be classified as terrorism if it was any government other than Israel. We constantly make special exemptions for them. And at this point, people are rightly beginning to ask, why? Why do we have to make all sorts of special exemptions for Israel? We don't. They're committing a genocide, and it's abominable. We should act very aggressively against it.
So your president, I say yours lightly, Donald Trump, is still chasing a Nobel Peace Prize. And one of the things he keeps talking about is the peace negotiations around Israel and Gaza. Where are they now? Where are they left?
Well, so Hamas has accepted Netanyahu's terms, so we should have a ceasefire right now. But of course, as soon as they did, Netanyahu changed the goalposts. That's what he always does. Now, he went from let's do this in phases to now, oh, OK, you accepted the phase portion. Now I'm saying I'm going to do it in lump sum. And you know why? And everybody knows why. Because he doesn't want peace. He's the one that's been blocking peace the entire time. And we all know the internal politics of Israel. If he loses the right wing, honestly, the Ben Gvir and Smotrich are outright fascists and obviously racist and obviously genocidal. But if he loses their support, he loses the government. He can't win re-election, and he might go to jail. So he's not. Basically, Smotrich and Ben Gvir are running this government. Netanyahu is very happily going along. He has said that his mission is a greater Israel. He talks about Judea and Samaria. And he said, and they've already voted that Palestine is never going to be allowed to exist. So what is this? So what, you're going to keep 5.5 million Palestinian prisoners for the rest of our lives? And we're supposed to accept that they're your prisoners and hostages, and you're going to run a dictatorial government in the West Bank and Gaza Strip? And now you say there is no chance for peace. And one last thing, even the Israelis now, all the scholars, their military, etc., are admitting and leaking to the press that, yes, Netanyahu put an unachievable objective of basically eliminating every Hamas member. So they know that they can't do that. That's not a thing that can be done. And the point is, so that we never get to peace. Why? They already have 75% of Gaza. They're going to try to take 100%.
And meanwhile, as we both know, settlers are pushing further and further into the West Bank. There's more and more trouble there. More and more Arab people are being killed there. What do you think this means longer term for the future of the State of Israel? Is this lethal for Israel?
So, look, first of all, they do so much propaganda. One of them is, oh, my God, Israel's a right to exist and people are going to come wipe us out. Nobody's wiping out Israel. They have nuclear weapons. They're the only country in the world that has Iron Dome. They curiously had a stand down order for 6 hours on October 7th. Otherwise, they're nearly an impenetrable country. They also have a bigger and more lethal military than the rest of the Middle East combined. So there is no existential threat to Israel at all. It is either utter delusional paranoia by the Israelis or just outright propaganda to make it seem like they're the ones in danger. No, they are not, David. They are Goliath, and they are crushing everyone around them. And yes, you're right. They're now having a discussion reported by Axios just yesterday. Should they annex the West Bank 10%, 30%, or 60%? So they're going to annex the West Bank as well. They're setting up greater Israel. Unless you have this weirdo special exemption for Israel in your head, what they're doing is super obvious. They're taking the land of their neighbors and pretending it's self-defense.
Let me turn to American politics, because I know you cover that a lot as well. And I was noticing that you are becoming increasingly worried that Donald Trump is entirely serious about trying to go for a third term, whatever the Constitution says.
Yeah, so Donald Trump has authoritarian tendencies. That's why I voted against him. I worked hard against him. And I'm a guy who does not like the establishment. So the standard politicians like Marco Rubio on the right, but also Joe Biden, Kamala Harris on the left. But nevertheless, Donald Trump is a fake populist, and he came in here, and his authoritarian tendencies are now in full display. He's bringing out the military in U.S. streets. It's ridiculous, making us look like a developing nation. And there's absolutely no need for it. Talking about a third term, does he mean it? Of course he means it. What he does is he constantly tests the limits of his power. And if you don't meet that test head on, he just takes more and more and more. And look, he look, connected in two stories. Will he be able to do it? Well, for a while, he had this lock on his voters. And a lot of you might still think that he does. No, I'm here to report from on the ground in America that, especially for independents, but even some, Republican voters, when they see him covering up the Epstein list, when they see him doing whatever Netanyahu orders him to do, they don't like it at all. And it's obviously not America first. So the more that he's Israel first, the more credibility he loses. And so that's your only silver lining in that otherwise disastrous scenario.
So really, really quick, I want to address this in two different parts. First and foremost, let me know in the comment section down below, does Donald Trump still have the same hold on MAGA that he used to have? Just like Cenk said in this video, just let me know really quick, does Donald Trump still have the same hold on MAGA that he used to have from 2016 onwards? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, let's talk about Donald Trump, Netanyahu, and Israel. First and foremost, starting with Trump. We have just seen, and this is what was so funny, that in the election leading up to Donald Trump come back into power, we saw so many people in MAGA, how Donald Trump talking about how he's going to end the conflicts and is going to get them ended. And we even saw people of Palestinian descent literally saying they're not voting for Kamala Harris because Donald Trump will be better for the genocide that's taking place within Gaza. And lo and behold, we have literally seen the complete opposite since he's come back into power. These are some of the few things. Number one, his unwavering support for Israel. The Trump administration has provided, diplomatic, military, and rhetorical backing for Israel within their genocide that's taking place in Gaza. And even when global criticism came as well and casualty numbers rose sharply, Donald Trump has still maintained his support for Netanyahu and what it is that Israel are doing. Donald Trump himself has even proposed population displacement, publicly suggesting removing Gazans from their own territory, and then spoke about how it is that he could potentially have some properties on the Gaza land that's there, what's left over, once the Gazans would have been displaced. This is crazy. And this is what Donald Trump has done. But all of these people leading up to the election and during the election that were supporting and saying, I'm voting for Donald Trump because he's going to be better for the Gazan people. How do you look now? How do you look now? Listen, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris didn't do the best job on Gaza. I know that without a shadow of a fact. But one thing that it is that I do know is that they wouldn't have been given Netanyahu the backing that Donald Trump has to this point. I can say that without a shadow of a doubt. Now, if you also take a look, when it comes to Netanyahu and having pressure on him, Donald Trump has completely just overlooked it. Overlooked it like it's not a thing, like it's not really a problem. And what he's done is he's shifted the focus away from Netanyahu more onto the Arab leaders and literally backed Netanyahu's war strategy, almost to the point where there's nothing that Netanyahu can't do. There's absolutely nothing that it is that Netanyahu can't do because Donald Trump is going to back whatever it is that he wants. And Netanyahu as well, look, we already know. We already know what it is that this guy's doing. He has a flat out plan to take over the whole of Gaza. And like Cenk said in this video, to create a greater Israel. That's the goal. The goal was never to eradicate and defeat Hamas. It was never ever that. It was to displace the Gazan people and take over the Gaza Strip. That's what it was. Netanyahu, we're dealing with very, very evil individuals here. We can see And this is an individual that has got arrest warrants in multiple countries. But unfortunately, we're seeing that so many countries around the world are scared to do the right thing and to really stand up to Israel, but also, as well as Israel, the United States of America and Donald Trump. Such crazy stuff that we see taking place. You know, it's really just good to see Cenk Uygur coming on UK, British radio and going absolutely scorched earth on Donald Trump, Israel and Netanyahu. But let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on this clip from Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks. While you guys are down there, do me a massive favour, hit that subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up purely for the YouTube algorithm. Let's push this video and try and get it in front of as many people as possible. I appreciate you guys and I will see you guys in the next video.